If I tell you the experience I had of my dad about his retirement, if I say I don't want to have anything to do with pension, you will agree with me.
Celebration of Customer Service Week. We sat down with one of our cherished customers.
When I met a guy from Access, just about 20-30 minutes discussion, it changed my mindset about too many things about pension. And I had to switch to Access. I enjoyed retiring through Access pensions. When you know that you have a leaking roof, you want to prepare before the rain comes. Retirement is almost like entering a leaking roof. You have to make sure that the roof is secured from leaks. So you get in, you don't have to be running up and down. You lie down, you rest. It's supposed to be a time of rest.
Hello and welcome to Where is the Money, a podcast powered by Access ARM Pensions, where we have challenged old mindsets, decoded smart money moves, and we have spotlighted real tools and real situations for real financial freedom. I am your host, Chiamaka Oneme, and today's episode is not just about money, it's more about you. It's because when it comes down to pensions, most people in Nigeria don't plan early. Not because they don't care, but because they somehow don't know much about it. So who is responsible for changing that? Today we are joined by Nneka OC from the Access ARM Pensions organization, and also a very important person here on the table. His name is Engineer David Madon. He is currently retired and enjoying his retirement. So today the question we are asking is, whose job is it to teach the pension culture, and why do you think most people ignore it? Thank you, Nneka. Thank you, Engineer David. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Okay. There's so much discourse currently on pensions, but it still feels like a far-off concept. To a lot of people, it still feels like something that it doesn't just touch home. They just know that something is being deducted from their salaries, but they don't really know so much about it. It feels like there's a huge disconnect somewhere. How do you think is the best way to approach this issue, this gap? Whose job do you think it is to teach the pension culture, and why do you think most people ignore it?
Okay, thank you very much. I think culture, as we all know, it's a shared value, practices, beliefs by a certain group of people, and also organizations, the belief, the culture, the way they view things, the way they operate, the way they practice. In pension, I think it's the job of everybody to teach this culture, from the employees to the management and also even to the regulator. It's the work of everybody, it's the job of everybody to teach culture, because that is what makes us to focus and also deliver good services to our clients.
Okay, but you would agree with me that we need to do a lot more. Based on the situation we currently have, you would agree that there's so much more that we can do in terms of teaching it.
Yes.
Okay, over to you, Mr. David. Engineer David, madam.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Engineer is for the same. Thank you for this privilege. I think this is a very weighty question, and I wish what comes out of this discussion will get to the grassroots. That's the man who feels the pinch.
Yeah.
You talk about regulators, yeah, I agree with you. You talk about culture, who makes it a culture? A culture is adaptable. When it is adapted by a people, then they are known by it. If the Nigerian worker, the common worker in the office understands that this is the way to go, he will adapt. Now the problem we have is that if you talk of regulator, yes, I think it is a problem of the regulator. We have National Orientation Agency, we have Ministry of Information, we have all kinds of people who are supposed to receive and disseminate information, but I do not know if they get to the people who really deserve the information that should be disseminated. If the common worker understands that, look, this is an arrangement that will benefit you, you are already keen in his mind to it.
Yes.
He will give it his best. He will ask questions, but you will notice that beyond the office arrangements, he will want to know, is there anything I can do? Because by the time I'll be retiring, I'll be old, may not be fit enough to really work again. So he may be preparing, to ensure that he has enough money to spend when he could no longer work. So where the problem really is getting the man who needs this information to know what to do with it and prepare properly for his retirement. Thank you.
I agree with you, sir. When did you retire?
Well, I retired about 2 years back. I retired in July 21st, precisely 2023. from the power sector.
And how does it feel now to be, enjoying and reaping the fruits of years of consistency?
Well, we thank God there's something to fall back on, despite the economic crunch and the value of the naira. But it's heartwarming when you have something to fall back on. But truth remains, if one has known that, there'll be times like this, you would have prepared better. You walk into it with expectation. You get into retirement with excitement. But I'll tell you that very few Nigerians can talk about retirement and excitement. It doesn't blend. It doesn't meet. The meeting point is not there. Just because the right preparations were not made, the proper informations were not given, the good mindset was not put in place. So it's like, so I'm coming to prepare to die. Well, but I thank God I'm enjoying myself by the grace of God.
Yes. We thank God for that.
Thank you.
Okay, but looking back now, based on what you just said, what do you think you could have done differently if you had the right information at the time? What do you think you would have done differently in terms of retirement planning and financial planning in general?
For every living soul, we know that what has a beginning must have an end. Retirement aside, if I had had one or two things in mind before now, I would have even resigned before the retirement, because I'm enjoying my retirement. I have time on my own. I plan my day. I do what I need to do the way I want to do it. If there had been a better privilege to prepare, I would have said that it would have been a sweeter moment than what it is now. So that's where preparation comes in. You need an understanding of an issue for you to prepare for it. So that's where orientation, training and all whatnot comes in.
I agree. So before we go too far into this conversation, let's quickly talk about the financial fix of the week. And, this week's dilemma it's a personal story from one of our viewers. So here goes. I asked my parents what they knew about pensions and they both laughed. My mom said, retirement, I will work until I die. My office, yes, it's still a startup, but they never speak to us about this. Neither do they help us with our pensions. My younger brother just got his first job and already thinks pension deductions are a scam. I'm stuck in the middle trying to explain something no one ever explained to me. Why does this feel like a secret we are all expected to figure out on our own? This is what people are facing out there. We already agree that there is an educational gap. What do you have to say, Nneka, to this person?
Okay, what I have to say is, I think she's just being naive. She's just being naive because now the new contributory pension is a welcome development. Before now, when we had state governments, even the federal government, do an estimated pension payment, and then when people retire, they have to queue for a long time. They have to, stay for some years before they start getting their benefits, some even die in the process. But with the new contributory pension that came on board 2004, 2005, you retire, you walk into your pension fund administrator, and then you apply for your benefits and you get paid. So I think what she needs is just more awareness. And I believe when she gets a job, one or two of these PFAs, that is what Access ARM pension does. Even from the start, from NYSC camp, we go there to educate and enlighten these new graduates why they should key into contributory pension, so it's awareness. So if she gets to know all about that, she'll even be happy, to do that. So I think because of the stories she had in the past, what the mom told her and all that, she feels a bit, are you sure I'm going to do this? But if she has the information she needs, like our guest said earlier, that people need to be aware, that this is actually what she needs to do for her to retire well and have something to fall back on when she retires. I think it's just education, information, which we do all the time in Access ARM pensions. We go out there educating people, telling them these are the things you need to do. You need to register, you need to have a pension account, you have to start contributing, and the pension fund administrator invests this fund and it grows at retirement. You enjoy it and then you have something to fall back on. You don't need to depend on your kids at retirement. I think just information, just education that the girl needs. Yeah.
I agree. And also, even your last statement about having the money invested, I don't think a lot of people know that their money actually gets invested. A lot of people have a problem with thinking, my money just sits there till I'm 65.
Wow. Yeah, that's like I said before, knowledge is power, so whenever we go out for forums, we tell the active contributors, people that are still in service, that see you are contributing, your employer contributes as well, and this money goes into your pension account. So what we do with it is that we invest it, we grow it. No money sits idle. Income will even penalize you, so we grow this fund. So you can imagine somebody that contributed. I have some client that their contribution, employed is about 30 million. Meanwhile, they have a balance of 70 million, which means that the PFA, we have grown this fund by almost 100%. So we invest the money in different instruments, money market, fixed income and all that. And the money grows at the retirement, you enjoy it.
That's lovely. Engineer David, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. You see, the Holy Book says, there's a place where God says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is everything. That young employee that was complaining would complain because that guy has not really seen anything in terms of pension. Nobody's talking about pension. Now we are bringing up the issue of pension. From where? Look at natural phenomenon. It is going to rain and you are leaving home. You want to carry an umbrella. The reason is simple. You don't want to be beaten by the rain.
Yeah.
When you know that your house is leaking, you have a leaking roof, you want to prepare before the rain comes. Retirement is almost like entering a leaking roof. You have to make sure that the roof is secured from leaks. So you get in, you don't have to be running up and down. You lie down, you rest. It's supposed to be a time of rest. I think we need to do a lot in information dissemination. Retirement is supposed to be a package properly discussed and explained. How do you feel when you are employed? And at the point of onboarding, you are not just told about the job you are coming to do and how you adapt to the company or to the institution. You're also told, amidst other benefits, what you benefit from your pension and how you can have a personal involvement in even growing your pension. If these things are discussed, the mind will be open. People will know what to work towards. People will have a focus. How you don't move at random. If you have a focus, you work towards it. When the mind is prepared and you have a mindset towards an issue, you will work towards your mindset. So I think the important thing is that let there be a way where government will embed it into the process of onboarding in employment and, even like you said, in the NYSC camp, even in schools. What is wrong in teaching people about schools? We'll talk to them about all kinds of skills and all whatnot. What about telling them how to prepare for old age? It's important. That's my idea.
If I should add to what he said, that's what we do here in Access ARM Pensions. So outside growing your fund, we also do what we call retirement planning. We'll put you through what you should do, depending on what you want to achieve at retirement in the next 5 years, 10 years, even before retirement. So we'll sit down with you and walk it through what you want to do at retirement, where do you want to be. So with what you are getting as you are working, your investments, your income, so we'll be able to plan your pre and post retirement. So what we do is that we sit down, we ask you some questions. You see, okay, I want to retire as a consultant. Okay, or you can say, I want to retire as a farmer, So with what you are getting at that point, we'll say, okay, you have to set out this amount every month for you to be able to achieve that goal, so that's part of what we do. So we also go to schools also to educate them. In secondary schools, in universities, we go there, we have seminars with them. That's part of what we do here to enlighten them ahead of time so that they won't have that same mindset that our forefathers or our grandparents had about pension. So when they come out from school, they're already prepared, to key into the system.
I still want to believe that people need to know what they need to know to work towards better plans.
Yes.
I was having a problem with my previous pension administrators. When I met a guy from then Sigma before Access, just about 20-30 minutes discussion, it changed my mindset about too many things about pension. And I had to switch to Sigma then, now Access. Sorry, I mean one Mr. Augustine Obi.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best you have.
Yeah.
Now, what stops Access ARM from moving into, you need to market yourself, not because of the market, but because of the end result of people's involvement in your organization. I enjoyed retiring to Access pensions.
Yeah.
And I have ended up pulling too many people from some troubled pension administrators into Access pension. Why? I had an understanding.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me some explanations.
Yeah.
Somebody made me feel good about what I heard.
Yeah.
And then I took a decision. And then I became like an advocate.
Yeah.
We tell people, look, the way things are, you may have to consider this and consider that, So knowledge is very important.
It is.
Go out there, get people to know about tomorrow, and give them the privilege of preparing themselves for tomorrow. If people know, I can tell you, very many people do not know that outside what they contribute from their salary and the employer, that there can be some discussions that can make their retirements better. They don't know. So that's why knowledge is important.
So now we have agreed that there is a gap awareness, there's a
Definitely.
gap in education when it comes to
Definitely.
pensions. But in addition to that, there's also a room for would I call it generational trauma?
Okay.
There's also room for fear. There's also room for, would I call it willful ignorance? Because like she said, this information is out there. Maybe we're not doing as much as we hope to do. We're making progress. But even on the level that we're operating now, there are people who have all of the information that they need, but still will not do the right thing. So do you think this is them operating from the angle of fear, or they don't want to, maybe they saw bad experiences that their parents had, having to queue at the office to receive stipends, or just general fear of what if at the end I'm 65 and these people don't have my money? So what do you think is the driving factor to this willful ignorance?
I would not accept the idea of willful ignorance, looking at the percentage of people involved in this.
Okay.
Yeah. If I tell you the experience I had of my dad, he was a retired policeman, late. Now, if I tell you the experiences I had about his retirement, if I say I don't want to have anything to do with pension, you will agree with me. Now, I think the government should go a bit further into this. We can make policies that make some information readily available to people. We can teach in schools and get people to make their choices. Everybody is responsible for his choices and his decision.
Yes.
When we give people the knowledge they need, when they have the information they need, give them with their decisions. If you are talking about fear, of course, too many people will be afraid of retirement, because I had a very bad experience. If not for people like the guy I mentioned, I would have just left it to chance. Yes, I'll retire, but he gave me a good understanding of one or two things. So there is need to educate people. And it cannot be a bad idea to introduce some policies that will make this a teachable subject in schools, especially in the university, even in secondary schools. When people have a prepared mind to face their tomorrow, they take proper decisions.
Nneka, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, yeah, he's correct. If that can be considered by government, to have curriculum around that, to have it as a subject in secondary schools, well, it will go a long way in
education.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, in informing people to know about this contributory pension even before they graduate from school. It will help them a lot. And then outside that, I think also National Pension Commission also does something to that regard. So I think they go to some organizations anyway, not schools, to lecture people on why they should key into the system. And also the PFAs, like the pension fund administrators, they also do it as well. But what he said, he's very, very correct. I think if we can do that, it will go a long way in changing the mindset of young people coming up. Yes.
Nneka, can I tune your mind away from the issue of Bencom doing this?
All right.
I may not be correct. This is your subject matter.
Yeah.
But I think Bencom is supposed to be more engrossed in managing the PFAs, right? Basically,
Yes.
primarily.
Yes.
we have agencies that should do this. How does it feel for National Orientation Agency to walk into JAMB and discuss these issues? Walk into National Universities Commission and discuss this issue. Get into Ministry of Education and discuss these issues. There's a way these things can be embedded into subjects that will open the minds of the younger fellows to understand that this is real and this is necessary for you. If you are facing business, you face your business. If you are in a paid employment, you have an expectation and you can begin to plan. I think a policy framework will make the matter easier than pushing it to a body like PENCOM that is only, how do I put it now? I don't think that...
More
yes, PENCOM is a regulator. So I don't think it should come from the regulatory angle. They should regulate their PFAs and let government draft something that will be more like a policy, that will get into proper teaching and education.
In schools.
Yes, I agree. There are agencies for that. So I feel like they can look more into that. Okay, so Nneka, considering that you're still in active service, working in a PFA, would you say that the onus is heavy on the HR department of organizations? He mentioned something like that, to educate people, possibly make it part of the onboarding process. Like now we have the AVC, additional voluntary contributions. There are people, even those who they know about pensions, but they just don't know that they can contribute more than what is the statutory, amount. So would you say that the onus lies heavily on HR to do that?
HR of organizations, you mean? Yeah, not 100%, but they can do like 70% while onboarding their staff. They let them know about the other options they have aside the mandatory contribution. There's AVC, they can also key into it. Even people that are not in organized sectors can also do that, from the HR side. But then, in organizations, there are trainings, workshops that also they can come up with to educate people on this scheme. Not just while doing onboarding, but then even as you've started working, there should be a series of workshops and also training forums where people are being educated on the importance and the why they should key into the scheme. Then for the PFA, for me here, I think because we know that's what we do, that's what we go out to tell people. So you don't need your HR to even tell you that. So that's what we do. That's what we tell people every time on social media platforms, and also when we do our customer interactive sessions, so that's what we do. Okay, so
Engineer David, I would like to believe that you have people in your circle, probably around your age range as well, who, like you said, you're enjoying your retirement. And you know that there are people who might not be as comfortable or as happy as you currently are, maybe by virtue of not being in paid employment, or maybe they were hustlers all through their lives, or maybe they just did not believe in pensions. So what would you say, if you can give us a case study, would be the most, if I may use the word, unfortunate or heartbreaking situation that you can share, just so we can shed some light on what the possibilities are, on what retirement can look like without proper retirement planning?
If you want to look at it from the two perspectives you mentioned, the hustler, the employee, for the hustler, that's where government involvement comes in. Jingles, radio discussion, radio TV discussions, the social media. You can educate the public. While you are in your business, do not forget the evening days. Do not forget the night hour. They can have an understanding. You can even work with banks. From every savings account where there will be withdrawals, there can be a kind of stipulated percentage that may go to an account that may not be tampered with until at so and so time. See, there are too many things we can play around to make people happy in their evening days. Now, that's for the hustler. Look at the employer. Give him information. Leave him with his choices. If you are talking about my circle, if I open my phone to show you some groups I belong to, and the cries, like I have a pension, retirees group, where almost every day is a tale of woe you will hear. Some of us were lucky. That's where the government comes in now. Some of us were lucky At the time of the sale of the power sector, we were properly, drafted into the pension scheme. Everybody was properly drafted into the pension scheme. And some people got their bulk payment as at then.
Yes.
Do you know that some since 2013 till now have never gotten their money? And we're talking about retirement, they are retired. What will you hear from them? Complain, pain, woes. Every story is pain. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, in this case, if somebody has had a good knowledge of what pension should be, you wouldn't be waiting for government to do one or two things. You will begin to prepare. Even when you have the privilege of maybe having a PFA, you may have to go the extra mile of doing something for yourself personally, from your little pay. So that's where knowledge comes in. People need to know and allow them to take their decisions. That's where government comes in, not PENCOM. You understand? That's where government comes in, so that they build information into curriculums and into open public discussions and things like that. And people will be better aware and prepared for their evening days. I call it evening days. I know what it means. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So this is a call for awareness, especially to people who are probably not in paid service. Now, pension is no longer the way it used to be. And start contributing on your own level comfortably every month. You're putting something aside consistently. Over time, it builds up, it compounds, and then your retirement will be an easy one. If we were to go back, you mentioned that you were in the power sector, and that you, because of the change, they were able to onboard everybody properly into pensions. Before then, did you have any knowledge of how pension worked?
Sincerely, if not for that 2013, I never had anything called pension, except that I remember those days in Far North in Sokoto. I would get a check from Papa to go and cash money in the bank, and we will have to wait, and too many questions at times. You have to go to and fro, back and forth. Pension was not something I would have wanted to get interested in. So that is where education and knowledge comes in. Most importantly, I will keep emphasizing, let's just get it corrected. There's been a lot of misconception because of, you mentioned fear. Why would people not be afraid? I told you, if I should tell you of my childhood and my father's retirement, you will understand if I say I don't want to have anything to do with pension discussion. But today is different. Like she said, I know it wasn't even up to 2 weeks from the time I wrote for my money that I got my money. It has never happened before. I'm not praising access pensions, but it was sweet for me. You understand? I had all the support, I had all the information, and the man who helped me move over never left me alone. I'm telling you, it's one of the best you have here. You could ask questions, he is there to answer. People need to know. If people know better, they will do better. If people understand better, they will prepare better.
Our viewers are a diverse crowd, but I would like us to focus more on those that are just entering into active service, or people who are around that age range, whether they are going into paid employment or starting something for themselves. So if you were to give words of advice, let's say 3 things now to a 25-year-old out there about their retirement planning and financial planning in general.
I would say choose the best PFA, and I would say make additional contributions aside the mandatory contribution, and I would say have a retirement plan. These 3 things, yes.
David?
I'll start from the last, from Nneka's opinion. I think it would be a wonderful idea to get the young fellows to put a retirement plan above every other thing. Yes, the Holy Book says somewhere, sorry, I'm talking about, we can't run away from God who made us. Somewhere it said that it is better for a man to bear the yoke in his youth. If young people know that there is going to be a time when they will no longer be young, If as you are getting into the world, whether you are getting into private employment or you are getting into paid employment, you have a knowledge that is directing your action, you will remember the evening days and you will begin to keep something. Even when you are employed, you will want to know what options you have to make your retirement savings better for you. So it still falls back to what we are saying. Tell people the truth. Get them to know. Help them to understand. Leave them with their decisions. So leave us now. We are almost phasing out. Let's face our children.
Yes.
Let's face the young ones. Let's make Nigeria sweeter for them. Thank you.
And we're working towards that. Words on marble from someone who has lived it and is currently enjoying his retirement. Pension is not an end-of-life conversation. It's a decision that you should make from day one. So whether you're earning salary, whether you're someone on the street hustling, we just want you to know that Access ARM Pensions has a plan tailored for you to help you grow. Wherever life takes you, we're going to be there for you. So start today at www.access-armpensions.com because we want you to understand what peace of mind at retirement can feel like. So, thank you so much, Engineer David. Thank you so much, Nneka.
Thank you.
Any final parting words for our audience? Anything you want them, that even if they don't take anything away from the entire episode, one thing you want to leave with them?
Okay, one thing I want to leave with our audience out there is the contributory pension scheme is a welcome development. It's easier, seamless than before, and then they should have a retirement plan. And also, they can always reach out to their PFA. If you're with Access ARM Pensions, we're always there. Reach out to us to sit down with you and help you plan your retirement so that when you retire well. And you also be happy that you've retired. You don't have any regrets. That's what I'll tell my audience.
Okay, thank you so much. Engineer David?
Yeah. They said that wisdom is profitable to direct. People should understand that it will not be sunny all day long. It's going to be an evening. Let them prepare. Like I said earlier, I'm not worried about people in my age range. We are fading away. We've been battered by too many things. But let's think about the young Nigerians and tell them how they can prepare for their future and not go through the pains that their parents have gone through. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. The creation of money and wealth isn't just in what you earn, but it's more about what you do to keep it, grow it, and plan for the future. And to top it all, pensions. That's something that we cannot overestimate how crucial it is to the value of your life. So, we would like to ask you, our viewers, this same very important question that we have been asking. Where is the money? Be the person who starts this conversation in your circle. Send this episode to your friend, your sibling, your HR, your boss, and then you can also visit the Access ARM website. Take a few minutes to make one of the smartest financial decisions you can make for your life. But until next time, stay ready and stay smart. See you.